In this example, we're going to use the filters to clean up the low end and high end of the piano, and then we're going to listen to the EQ. So by default, the equalizer is set to G series, and when you engage the E button, it's now E series. And the difference is that with the G series, this is great for shaping a vocal or putting on an overall EQ on a bus because it's a wider curve, whereas the E series, the curve does not change, so you get a tighter sound. So let's listen to what this sounds like. Let's go ahead and bring down the input gain, about 9 dB. And let's go ahead and boost the low mid frequency. So there's a subtle difference there. Let's go ahead and increase that by boosting up 1K. So you should be able to hear the differences there on the G series. It's a little broader. You can hear some of the overtones and harmonics better. But on E series, it sounds a little bit tighter. Now you can adjust the bandwidth using this button, which is the Q button. But overall, in the G series console, this bandwidth is going to be broader at lower gain settings. Let's go ahead and stop this for now and reset our settings. And let's talk about the low frequency and high frequency. So here you have a 4-band EQ with low frequency, low mids, and high frequency. The low frequency and high frequency are by default a shelf curve, but you can change that to a bell curve. So let's hear what the differences sound like. Again, we'll bring down the input gain, and then we'll switch this to bell. Boost up the gain and sweep our frequency. Here we go. So with the bell curve, it sounds a bit tighter, and that's because you're using a bell curve. But with the shelf, you're increasing this frequency, which is 2.5 kilohertz, and everything above that. Let's bring this down a little bit. And let's do the same with our low frequency. Now, one thing that I will mention is that we are using the filters. And currently the filters happen after the EQ, but we can switch the order now. We can put the filters first, and then the signal will go through the EQ. Let's go ahead and bypass this. and turn it back on. So as you can hear from this example, this EQ is really versatile, from notching down frequencies with a tight Q, or having more of a broader curve by using the shelve and by using the G series. In personal preference, I like the G series on vocals and instruments, but I like the E series on percussive instruments like drums. So now that we have a better understanding how the filters and EQ section works, let's move on to our dynamics.